All right guys, so today's project, I've got a 97 S10. It has the 2.2 liter 4-cylinder in it. It is quite doggy, but that's perfect because this will eventually go to my oldest son when he starts driving. So what perfect vehicle than a super slow doggy 4-cylinder 2-wheel drive pickup. So I got it about a month and a half, 2 months ago, and when I started up, from up in this area, there's a pretty noticeable exhaust leak sound. So I got to thinking about this. I crawled under the vehicle and I see that on the exhaust system, there's several patches where a muffler shop or someone has welded in a patch of pipe or just covering a rust hole or something. The truck only has about 73,000 miles on it, but there's rust just from it sitting and not being treated and whatnot. So I got to weighing my options of how to repair this exhaust leak. I could take it to a muffler shop and have them patch it again. I do have a cheap Harbor Freight flux core welder, but I've attempted to do some exhaust repairs on other vehicles in the past, and it's just way too hot of a welder, and I just end up burning holes in the exhaust pipe. So I didn't want to try doing any repairs myself. And so then I thought, well, what about going with a performance upgrade, doing a header. You can buy a header for these things for about $100, but reading quite a few reviews online, people had issues with fitment, they had issues with hardware not staying tight, some various issues, and then just kind of poor quality welds and so on. The other thing is I noticed on just about everybody that installed a header noted that the little flex section right off of the exhaust manifold was almost always bad and just rusted through, disconnected, leaking. And so I figured that's probably what's going on with mine. So you can get this part, original OEM part. I didn't even look at a price. It's not worth it. But Walker does offer an aftermarket OEM direct fit replacement. And so that's what I've got here. So this is a downpipe. As it sits on the truck, it'll be on the driver's side. You've got this little flex section, comes down and it goes across, and then hits another flange right before the catalytic converter. And so you can see this little flex section. Now, I ordered this from Amazon, and it's about $70. And 2 bolts here, 3 bolts here, a gasket for each side. But when I was looking at Amazon, I noticed there's a used part in very good condition for only $25. So with it being Amazon and used, that probably just means someone bought it, it was the wrong one, they returned it, and Amazon can't sell it as new again. So I scooped it up, $25, free shipping. Anytime you get these pre-made exhaust sections, you can see they do like a crimp bend. So you end up getting a lot of restriction through the bends, but even the factory exhaust is very similar to that. So it's not a mandrel bent, super high flow, but at least it's going to keep the exhaust gases in here, traveling down the exhaust system and not leaking out right at this flex section. Of course, Amazon decided to stick a nice plastic label right on the pipe. So I definitely want to get that off. So I'm going to start it up real quick, not for very long because I'm not going to open the door, and just let you hear what it sounds like. I'm gonna get under this thing, see if I can get this rusty hardware off, and go from there. Okay, so here's the underside of the truck, and you can see right there is the pipe that I'm replacing. You can see the 2 patches that are in there. There is the 3-bolt flange and the catalytic converter. And so if we go back up this way and follow the pipe up, you can see the 2-bolt flange up there, and it looks like there might have even been an attempted repair on that flex section. So 2 nuts up there that I need to remove, and then 3 over there, and pretty tight quarters under the truck here. So I don't know how much I'm going to video, but I'm going to see if I can get this off. Okay, so I got the original pipe out. It looks like it's definitely been repaired up here. I don't know if this flex section was replaced or what, but it looks like it was a larger diameter that was welded onto this pipe. Had a couple repairs here. So Looking at the bins of the original versus the aftermarket, these are a little smoother. So GM did have a bit more of a mandrel bend instead of this crimp crush bend. Same through here. But it looks like this is definitely a direct fit. Flange positions look like they're, clocked the same. Same down here. So it should go in no problem. The bolts that go here, the one that's closer to the front of the engine, which I think would be this one, is actually an Allen head. At least on my truck, it was an Allen head. Came in from the bottom. On the bottom side, there was a nut. And so I went to turn that off, and it ended up snapping. And I was like, oh, great. Now I got to try to extract a stud. But it looks like from the top side of the manifold, it's a bolt that comes down through. The other thing I did was there's a little rubber inner liner in the driver's side fender here. There's little clips that go in these little holes. So I just used one of these little body trim pry tools. I ordered a set of these. I'll post a link to this set that I ordered down in the description. You can just get in here and pry out these clips. And then from there, you can get right in here, and there's the bottom of the manifold. So you can see just the little nub of that bolt sticking out, and it is just sitting in there. So thankfully I'll just be able to pull it out from the top. But that means I'm gonna have to do a bolt and nut on it, and working by yourself, that can be kind of challenging to do sometimes. So I can't really tell if that is leaking, or maybe the gasket was just blown out, or maybe with that being double nutted, it wasn't actually tight on that flange. I don't know for sure, but I've already got this, so I'm putting a new one in. I've got my new gaskets there. I'll put a link to these down in the description as well. I'm gonna have to run to get some hardware tomorrow. Well, we have an open exhaust manifold. I feel like we should see what it sounds like. Probably a dumb idea, seeing that it's 11:30 at night, but yeah, that was loud. All right, guys, so back from the hardware store, I got some 3 nuts and lock washers for the 3-bolt flange, and then 1 replacement for the top flange. I'll reuse the existing socket head bolt. The manifold is drilled and tapped for a 10 by 1.50 bolt on one side, and it looks like it may have been drilled and tapped for that size on the other hole as well. I don't know if they had to drill it out or what, but there's like some weld marks on the manifold, and so I don't know if they tried to weld the hole closed so they could re-drill it and tap it or what, but it's a smaller hole. Only about an 8mm bolt will fit through there. All right, so I've got the new downpipe installed. All the bolts are tightened up, but let me get it fired up and we'll see how it sounds. You can see right there the shiny new flex section. All right, so that's going to be it for this one, guys. It definitely did fix whatever exhaust leak was up here. I don't know if it was caused by just a gasket or if that flex section was leaking, but it's definitely quieter. I don't know if the camera microphone will actually pick up what I was hearing before compared to what it is now, but it's definitely an improvement. I do have the muffler is starting to rust out, so I will have to do that eventually as well. Hopefully quiet it down just a little bit more, but I'll post links to this stuff that I used down in the description. If you need any of this stuff, get it from there. Helps me out a little bit. And if you have any questions or comments, definitely leave them down below. And until next time, we'll see you later. Thanks, guys.